Do you suffer from depression or anxiety, problems at school, work, or with romantic relationships? There is a reason for all of these problems, a reason that goes back to childhood. And in this video, I will explain how emotional problems develop using two triangles. They are the triangle of conflict and the triangle of persons. The triangle of conflict explains how problems develop as a result of feared and avoided feelings. The triangle of persons explains how they develop in important relationships. I will explain how both of them work. We begin at the bottom of the triangle of conflict, which says we are born with a set of normal, natural feelings. This includes positive feelings, such as love, but also negative feelings, such as sadness and anger. Each feeling has what we call impulses, which are what the feeling makes us want to do. These impulses are why we have evolved feelings, to inform us, guide us, and motivate us to action. Some impulses are healthy and adaptive, while others are more animalistic and instinctual. For instance, anger has healthy impulses to assert ourselves, to set needed boundaries, and to say no. But anger also has animalistic impulses to yell, scream, punch, kick, or bite. And each of us is born with all these impulses. The way symptoms get started is in interactions with our caretakers from the past, such as parents, grandparents, and other close relatives. If normal impulses, even those more animalistic ones, are treated harshly by caretakers, a child will learn to feel guilty about or anxious about their own feelings and impulses, and will avoid them through the use of defenses or defense mechanisms. Now, while these defenses may please caretakers, habitual over-reliance on defenses in other relationships in the patient's current life leads to all of the symptoms and problems for which they seek therapy. So let's look at an example. A child who is repeatedly and severely disciplined for showing any anger may become guilty about anger and use the defense of putting on a happy face instead. And this defense works to please the child's caretaker. But if the child grows up and always smiles away her anger in current relationships, then she may be unable to assert herself, to get her needs met, or say no. This is a recipe for depression, and therapy may be needed. A couple notes. First, my example was about a child who feels guilty about anger. But of course, it doesn't all come down to guilt over anger. Learning to feel guilty or afraid of any feeling can result in defenses, which if overused, can cause symptoms and problems. Imagine another child who is neglected every time he cries or shows vulnerability. This child learns the defense of adopting a rough and tough exterior to please his caretakers. Later, he ends up in therapy having trouble with romance because he can't ever take down his tough defensive walls to be vulnerable and close to a romantic partner. The second note is that it's crucial to understand we are not blaming mom or dad here. Parents are doing the best job they can and teach their children what they themselves have learned. As parents, we need to do our best to tolerate our children's healthy impulses, such as assertiveness or vulnerability, and help them regulate their more animalistic urges without undue anxiety, guilt, or defensiveness. Third, we are not blaming the patient. The triangle of conflict is inside the patient, but it develops unconsciously outside the person's awareness through many interactions with caretakers. But far from blaming the patient, the triangle of conflict is good news, because if the problem is inside you, you can fix it by becoming aware of your triangle of conflict, loosening up on rigid defenses, and being more open with your healthy feelings and impulses. When I'm teaching my psychiatry trainees about these two triangles, I always say this is the most important thing I've ever learned, professionally or personally. I hope this helps you understand how emotional problems develop and how they can be resolved. If so, please comment, give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for watching.